Thanks to the supporters and channel member Patrick Topor. Well, after a little bit of a wobble and a few emergency transfers that I'm not necessarily proud of, we should secure the title and promotion to the National League today. I could do without another episode where it all goes wrong. Hello and welcome to part 9 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we should, as mentioned in the intro, win the league. We're 15 points clear. The team below us have 5 games remaining. We also have a game in hand as well, which we play right now. Our game in hand against Kings Lynn. Even a draw is enough to win the league. We need 1 point from our next 6 matches. I think we should be okay because we've actually turned our form around. Obviously, we had that little bit of a wobble in yesterday's episode, but we did a couple of things. Thing number 1, we dropped Shakuna and brought Gio Loureiro into the team, who has been great. Played a couple of games, got a goal and an assist in that one and an 8.7, got another goal in the next one on a 7.3. And also Henry Hearn, who I mentioned yesterday, has started scoring goals as well, or continued scoring goals. He just didn't do it in front of you lot yesterday. But he's got 7 from 12 on a 7.1. We've also finally signed a left back. Chris Hussey, the only recognised left back at the club. Yes, he's 35 years old, but I mean, he is considerably better than anyone else we've got who can play left back. Well, to be fair, apparently Idahen is actually better than him, even though Idahen's only a competent left back. But Chris Hussey is in. He'd been playing for Stratford for some reason, similar to what we had with Miles, the centre-back we signed yesterday. He's played most of the season for Stratford, and then they've just weirdly released him mid-season. I don't know why this is a thing that's happening, but he was available on a free transfer. We didn't sign him directly from Stratford. He just came up as a free transfer. So we've brought him in. He's played a couple of games. He's got a decent corner, a decent long throw on him. It does mean Cullinan Liebird isn't playing at the moment, or what hasn't played, because we'd been using him at left back, which removes some of the aerial threat. But I think we might play him at centre-back. And we've also signed Ellis Deeney, who is a former Tamworth guy. He'd been here for 3 years, going back 5 or 6 years ago. We actually had a little bit of a dressing room potential mutiny, which I thought bringing in Deeney would solve. As you can see, Kyle Finn leading it this time. Lack of sufficient quality depth in defensive midfield. This is really becoming quite an annoying thing on FM24, how often this happens. He's got 6 players agreeing with him. So we signed the only defensive midfielder we had on our scout reports who was available. We've actually signed him on over a year's contract as well. Hussey only here until the end of the season. Deeney insisted on until the end of next season. He's not really good enough to play for us, but I had to try and cut off another potential mutiny. So we've brought him in on an 18-month contract. And I doubt we'll ever use him. He's 2.5 stars. We're going to be doing a rebuild in the summer to get us ready for the National League. He's just going to get released, I guess. I'm not really sure what the long-term plan is. I hoped it would calm the boys down. It hasn't. But hopefully, even with a few grumpy gooses, we should have enough about us to get 1 point in our next 6 matches. So let's go and try and do that exactly now. Hope the title lift glitch is gone. There's been a couple of updates since the last time I tried to do a title lift and it didn't work. I would love to see us lift the trophy. But ultimately, the main goal is get promoted today. So we're going with Mohammed in goal, a back four of Hussey, who is playing as a normal fullback, no more inverted fullbacks. Idahen, Cullinan Liebird, who can move over to centre-back today because Cliff Moyo is away on international duty, and then Dornelli at right-back, Kennedy and Milnes in midfield, Akwe, Loureiro and Finn then supporting Hearn up front. It does mean Shakuna is on the bench because his form has just fallen off a cliff. I don't really know what's happened to Shakuna. He seems to have been hit harder than anybody by the update that happened over the weekend, because ever since that update, he's not been able to get above a 6.9 and only got that far once. He's not scored a goal, not got an assist. This is a man who was in incredible form first half of the season, and it's just stopped for him. And it's frustrating because he's one of the three that I did extend a contract for as well. So along with Deeney, Shakuna is at the moment potentially a player who's going to be here next year and not used. Although I'd like to think his form will come back round again. And he's just having a little bit of a patch where he's not playing so well. I hope that's all it is. But like I say, we're ignoring all of that. We're going to put all of that behind us for today and focus in on getting promoted. There is Hussey with the corner. Like I say, he hits a decent corner. The outswinger there looking for Cullinane Liebird, who isn't able to direct his header downwards. But obviously we know the threat Cullinane Liebird can be from those set pieces. We saw it in real life when we were at Tamworth at the weekend, and we've seen it about 15 times this season in game as well. The man is a beast when it comes to being an aerial threat at set pieces. There's the ball over the top for Lorero, who couldn't get it under control. In fact, it's a penalty. He's been clattered, and I think he's injured as well. Is he injured? He's not injured. I think we're good, but we do have a penalty, and this is a huge moment. Only 5 minutes in, hugely important. The non-league James Ward-Prowse is there once again. Milne's 8th goal of the season for him. He's not going to miss a penalty. What do you think this is? 1-0 to Tamworth, and as it stands right now, that will be enough for us to win the league and do it on a ground where we've started non-league legend previously as well. Kings Lynn, I think we're going back 2 or 3 FMs now to when we were at Kings Lynn, the Alfie Payne Kings Lynn days. There's not many or any players in that Kings Lynn team that I recognise from that save from several years ago, but who really cares? All we really want today is to win the league. Donnelly with the shot that goes wide at the base of the post and doesn't threaten the goal because he missed. I was going to try and make that sound grander than it was. No, he just missed. Non-league James Ward-Prowse, you say. Milnes whips in the free kick, but unfortunately top of the goal netting. A second goal, and I think we pretty much kill Kings Lynn off. They're down in the bottom half of the table. They're not in any danger of getting relegated, I don't think. 8 points clear of the relegation zone. But they should be a team that we are capable of dealing with, you would think, relatively comfortably. Although that's the kind of smack talk that leads to you getting beaten when you're trying to win the league. So we should probably pack that in. But as you can see from the XG, from all of the stats, really, we've been much, much better than them today. And we probably should have a second goal to our credit. Why can Donnelly throw the ball that far from this deep, but if we try and get him to do a long throw from like level with the edge of the area, it doesn't make it into the box? I don't understand. We'll worry about that in training, because for now, Akwe has got his 12th goal of the season. It's a lovely finish as well. He's absolutely walloped that across the goalkeeper, across the face of the goal, into the back of the net. The Kings Lynn right back probably has to have some questions asked of him, and possibly the goalkeeper as well, for being beaten at the near post. But it comes through to Akwe, who, to be fair, looked like he was always expecting it, and he's just drilled it so hard that the keeper can't get across to his near post. Calamitous defending all round for Kings Lynn, but lucky old us, eh? We love a calamity. Let's pat the boys on the head and hopefully go out and just finish the job in this second half. Maybe my shirt isn't cursed after all. Fingers crossed. Doesn't want to be for 48 quid. I'm never letting that go. £48! Look how small it is compared to that Arsenal shirt it's hung in front of. They're on the same hook. That's how small it is. It's a child's shirt. 48 quid. Absolutely ridiculous. Right. Still 2. Let's not let that get us down. We're about to win the league. Let's focus in on what we're supposed to be doing here today. And Kings Lynn trying to ruin the party for us, and they might just yet. A first goal of the season. Good old Football Manager things. A first goal of the season from the Kings Lynn player. And I don't remember him having this big screen when I went there, but we'll assume they've had that installed in real life. And now we've got a little bit of a nervy last 20, 25 minutes ahead of us, potentially. I think we bring Shakuna on. He's been too good all season. I know he's not in form at the moment, but I feel like he is the man for the occasion. We're also going to take off. We're going to take off Hussey. We're going to put Idehen to left back. And we're actually going to leave Cullinane Liebird in the middle alongside Miles, mainly because we don't want to be messing around doing inverted fullbacks at this stage of the game. We don't have Moyo in there. I think we need Cullinane Liebird as a a proper defender in there alongside Miles. Milnes now with the free kick, and he's going to lose his title as the non-league James Ward-Prowse if he keeps missing free kicks. I could really do with him just sticking one of them in the top corner. Aquay has picked up an injury here, so Ty Deacon is going to have to come on and can we sort that? He's not going to play on the left, which is what I was going to say. We'll move Finn, who is a natural left footer, over to the left, and Deacon can come over onto the right and be the wide target forward that he's been on multiple occasions this season. So he's pretty comfortable doing that. But we really need to be defending this corner. It's headed straight up in the air. If we'd have lost winning the league to an overhead kick, I would have been furious. But remember, of course, we don't actually have to win the game. A draw is enough if my Kev maths is correct. And let's face it, Kev Maths has never failed me so far. So I don't think Kings Lynn are likely to score two, he says, whilst we're defending a corner, which is a very risky game. We're scrambling it clear at the moment, but it is Kings Lynn applying a lot of pressure, which is bizarre because they don't really have anything to play for. I don't know why they're suddenly trying so hard. They just want to spoil my fun. It's very, very unfriendly from the Kings Lynn team today. Just let us have our fun. You're not getting relegated. You've got no chance of getting promoted. Let us have this one. We'd like to win the league, please. What is Shakuna doing? Kennedy now coming out of midfield, looking for options ahead of him, plays it into Hearn, and there is Nathan Shakuna. And still, it's just not working for him at the moment. But Idahen bursting out of the back four, having the freedom to play at left back for one of the first times all season. Kennedy turns. I mean, he's been class. Kennedy back to Milnes. But yeah, Kennedy has been a fantastic signing for us. Hope we can get him again next year. Kennedy into Finn, and now Shakuna. I would love Shakuna to get a goal to just confirm things. Shakuna is lurking. If Hearn can slot it through to him, but it's actually with Dornelli. Drill the crossover. Somebody drill that cross. Kennedy now on the right-hand side floats the crossover. Hearn is there. And that should be that. Henry Hearn, an 8th goal since arriving on loan in January to replace that little rascal, what we had to get rid of. But this is good work all round. Deacon stayed very wide there. I'd prefer him to get a little bit further into the middle and let the other two boys be the ones who are doing the crossing. But it comes to Kennedy. He's crossed it over beautifully. Hearn is going to win that in the air all day long. And that should be that. Are we going to get to see a trophy lift here in Norfolk this afternoon? This evening, it's an evening game, isn't it? Oh, we've got one more corner. Can we have Cullinane Liebird just sticking one in for old time's sake? It's going to be Finn hitting the in-swinger. Cullinane Liebird is there at the far post. It finds Cullinane Liebird. That is his 19th goal of the season. And they've all come from headers from corners. 4-1. That's beautiful. What a season that man has had. I think we probably need to release the set piece tactic, don't we? Keep an eye out in the next few days. There'll be a video where we go through what we're doing with set pieces so you can see how we've got 19 goals out of him. But this is what it's all about. Oh, we're having the alien invasion again. The aliens are ruining the trophy lift. Please, Football Manager, sort this out. Look how zoomed in we are. I tell you what, looks quite nice zoomed in at that level, doesn't it? But here comes the trophy lift. There's me, look. I'm so much bigger than him. Who's this guy, by the way? Who is he? Is he the chairman? The chairman's a woman now. Who is he? But there is the trophy lift. That's a lovely shot as well. We are the champions of the National League North. They've improved the trophy lift animation. I haven't seen it for a while, but that was beautiful when it had that low down camera shot and all the confetti cannons and everything. That was beautiful. I enjoyed that a lot. Look at it. I mean, the Kings Lynn fans have stuck around and now it's snowing blood. I mean, where's that coming from? That's coming from above the level of the stands. As someone flying a drone over with a bag of confetti in it. I don't understand how the logistics of that. But there we have it, boys and girls. We are the champions. I've just had the Steam achievement pop as well. It's my first promotion of FM24. Oh, blimey. Straight in with the budgets for next year as well. And that is huge. That's a big transfer. A £350,000 transfer budget. And they've doubled the wage budget. If we were to put all of that transfer budget into wages, we could double it again. We could go up to, oh my word. This rebuild is going to be significant, boys and girls. We've still got a few matches to play this season. I think my plan from here, I'll play the in-betweeny ones off camera and we'll just come back for the last game of the season on this episode so that you can just see how we finish the season off, how the league table actually ends. We should blow past 100 points, you would think. But my goodness me, that is a huge budget. We are going places, boys and girls. And we've made it through to the last game of the season. We've been doing lots of experimenting and rotation. So we've had a big defeat there. We've had a couple of decent results, though, mixed in with this as well. And we've kind of binned off the players we're not planning on using next year, which has upset some of them. Milnes is asking for a new contract, but he's 32, 2.5-star player. As much as he was good for us this year, 17 assists, particularly good, very good corner taker. He's not making the step up. Cullinane Liebird, another one, 2.5 stars. Yeah, he scored 18 goals this season, but we can do better. Cliff Moyo, another one, will be moving on. Ty Deacon will be moving on. And we've already started that process by bringing in 5 youngsters who came through in the email that you get telling you that Premier League youngsters are being released. I don't go and hunt through Premier League youth teams, but I do offer trials based on that email because it's right there. If you're going to email me and tell me there's youngsters available for trial, I'll offer them trials. And these are the 5 we've decided to bring in. So Lewis Brown, who is much better than any defender we've got at the club currently. And then we've also got Maldini Kakuri, same thing, better than any defender we've got at the club currently. And then Jack Kingdon, guess what? Better than any defender we've got at the club currently. So with those 3 coming in, I don't think we need to renew any contracts for existing centre-backs we've got at the club. Adam Berry is an attacking midfielder who, spot the theme, better than anyone we've got at the club currently. And then lastly, Yusuf Akamrich is a striker. You'll never guess he's better than anyone we've got at the club currently. So that's 5 massive upgrades coming in straight away. They weren't cheap, although they're also not showing on our committed spending, which is interesting. So we won't actually be able to show you how much we're going to be spending on them until they arrive. They were between like £500 and £1,000 a week each on their salary, so much more expensive than anyone we've got at the moment. But we are making a step up to the new league and obviously have a big pile of cash to spend as well. So there's no reason why we shouldn't spend a little bit more. But it is the last day of the season. We are still heavily rotated. We're having a look at some players who are maybe on the fringes of sticking around next year, plus a couple of promising youngsters. We have had our first youth intake. So we've had a couple of decent players come through that, the most notable of which, I don't know why it's showing a load of the older guys, the most notable of which is in the team, so I'll just show you him from there. Rob Harley, already been picked up by one of our Name in the Game channel members. If you want your name in the game, click the join button, become a Name in the Game channel member, and then you can have your pick of youth intake players when they come through. But Rob Harley, still only 16 years old, natural in 4 different positions. Obviously, he's got a long way to go before he's ready to play. He's not even got a yellow star on his current ability yet, but has massive potential. So we are giving him a game. He played in the previous game. He's going to play again in this one, so you can see him in action. And we're also playing Ronane van Kooten, the young goalkeeper who we brought in the summer. Still only 16, still with lots of potential of his own. He's started 3 games in this little run. Conceded quite a few goals, but then all our goalkeepers do. So we give him a go. But there's not really any point in playing loads of lone players at this point. We may as well be looking at players that we're maybe on the fence about. The likes of, I mean, someone like Kai Williams hasn't really had a go all season. He's not likely to either, but we'll have a little look. Dempsey, Arlott, John, another one. These are all players who are likely to be leaving. They're all out of contract, but we're looking at players. So it's Van Kooten in goal, a back 4 of Cullinane Liebird, Ida Hen, Mitchell Nelson and Moyo, Gascoigne and Deeney in midfield, Williams, Harley and Arlott John behind Deacon up front. We'll get the team submitted, hopefully pick up a win on the final day of the season. That would be jolly nice if we could do that, but personally, and I would suggest you do the same, all eyes on Van Kooten in goal and Rob Harley attacking midfield, because these 2 boys are the future of Tamworth Football Club. If they come anywhere near to fulfilling the potential that they've got, they are going to be superstars. Deacon turning nicely for him. It was a slow turn, but it still got the job done. And now Williams, I mean, one of many players playing his final game for the club today, tries to play it across goal. I mean, he does succeed in playing it across goal. Unfortunately, there's nobody to get on the end of it. We've also set a National League North record, according to the game. I think it's one of these in-game records. I suspect there have been clubs in the past who've had more than 102 points in the National League North, but according to the game, it was a National League North record. 102 points, or 101 points is actually what broke the record. We did it the game before this one, and we've also scored, I think we've scored over 100 goals at this point as well, because we have conceded a lot as well. We've never been that great defensively. I'm hoping those 3 boys that we're bringing in are going to go a long way towards fixing our defensive problems. Obviously, there's still going to be a lot to do in tomorrow's transfer special, because once all the contracts have expired, we don't really have a lot of squad for next year. We've got Finn, Akwe and Tashuma who have contracts. We've got Deeney who has a contract because we kind of had to give him one, but we're not planning on using him. And then we've got those 5 boys who are coming in, and that is it. That is the squad as it stands currently. Now, there is still the possibility that some of these players might get contract extensions. Cullinane Liebird, I'm kind of on the fence about at the moment. He's only 28, so we don't need to bin him off the way we do some of the older ones. And I mean, Ty Deacon might force his way into a new contract, depending on what we can pick up as backup strikers. He might end up being the backup striker that we go with next year. If we can get him on a cheap enough contract extension, we shall see. But that's Rob Harley with a first ever assist at 16 years old. Youngest player in National League North history is another record that we broke with Rob Harley in that last match. And clearly he can take a set piece, because he's taking this one as well, playing it forward, this time looking for Gascoigne, can't find him, comes back to Harley on the edge of the area. Rob Harley at 16 years old has a goal and an assist. Oh my word, we have a new star emerging here. I told you to keep an eye on him. He takes the set pieces, he gets assists, he scores goals, and he is young. He's one of our own, boys and girls. Number 26, Rob Harley, make a note of it. He is going to be a star. Shakuna's furious watching on. But of course, Harley could play on the right wing if need be as well. He's natural in 4 different positions, so he doesn't have to play in Shakuna's position. It's Harley again. Rob Harley is running this show at such a young age. He wasn't even that good in the last game. The last game, he was fine. But today, he is running things. I mean, I'd have had him taking this penalty if I'd have had the option to change it, but it's going to be Deeney to take the penalty, and it's saved. See, why not give it to Harley? Let him push towards a first ever hat trick. Wouldn't that be a thing to achieve at 16 years old? Mitchell Nelson, who by the way is a centre back, taking this corner. So clearly Harley not so hot at taking the corners as he is at the free kicks. We've got my my assistant manager decides who takes the set pieces and also arranges the order of the tall players and does all that stuff. The only thing I do to the set pieces is actually create the things, the moves, the set pieces themselves. So theoretically, according to my assistant manager, Mitchell is the best corner taker we had to take an in-swinging corner from that right-hand side there, which is interesting. Van Kooten beaten from range. Van Kooten, I'm less excited about than I am about Harley. He's got only 4.5 stars of potential now, and he's been beaten pretty comfortably from there. And with Mohamed's loan ending and no other goalkeeper at the club, obviously, goalkeeper is a position we need to strengthen for next year. In fact, when I was listing the players we've got for next year, I actually forgot about Van Kooten. He's on a youth contract at the moment, but when he turns 17, which I think is in October, when he turns 17, he already has a professional contract in place, ready to take on. So Van Kooten will be part of next season's squad as well. So we only need to bring in one goalkeeper over the top of him, and we can keep Van Kooten on the bench as well, and possibly even look to loan him out once he turns 17 to get some game time, because I think obviously any player needs game time to develop, but for goalkeepers in particular, it can be very difficult to break into the team when you don't have the option to come off the bench and get some appearances that way. So if we can find someone who's willing to take him on loan and commit to playing him, it would probably be the best thing for him. So we might end up bringing in 2 goalkeepers. Who knows? 2-1 up though, 20 minutes to go. I think we're going to take off Dempsey, Arlott. We're going to try Rob Harley out wide so that we can get Shakuna on. What does Harley like to be when he's out wide? A wide target man. He's 5'10". He isn't going to be a wide target man. He can just stay out there as a winger and he'll be fine. And then we're also going to bring on, I think, you know what? I was going to bring on Henry Hearn, but Deacon's playing so well, I'm not going to. We'll bring on Dornelli for a last appearance. It also gives us the opportunity to give a standing ovation to Moyo, who will definitely be leaving us in the summer. He was a very important player for what we needed for this season. A cut price, experienced centre-back who has never let us down this year, but we've got those 3 young centre-backs coming in who are so much better than him. There's no home for him here anymore. The only possibility that Moyo sticks around, and it's a similar situation to what we've got with Cullinane Liebird on the other side, that flexibility of him being able to play right back as well as centre back might end up, if he's cheap enough, leading to him filling a squad spot. But at this stage, I think it's probably unlikely. Dornelli with the in-swinger, looking for Gascoigne, can't find him. Cullinane Liebird is there, but commits the foul, and I think I probably want to take him off as the final substitution to get him a standing ovation as well, because there's a very good chance this is his last game for the club, and we're going to miss him because he's been great, but you've seen we've upgraded him. We'll drop Gascoigne back into the back 4, and Idahen can go out to left back, and Kennedy can come on for a final appearance from him as well, because we're not likely to get him back on loan again. It was something they tweaked for FM23 last year. It was very, very difficult now to get a player on loan for a second season. Long gone are the days where I could take a player on loan and keep getting them for 5 or 6 seasons in a row because they just kept coming back. I consider that my contribution to the Football Manager franchise. They had to bring in an anti-Kev rule because I did it so often. I've decided they did it because of me. Deeney playing it forward to Deacon, who turns, looks to release Shakuna, but I think Shakuna realises he'd mistimed his run, kind of tried to double back just as the ball was being released, and it didn't really work out. Made us look like silly gooses, really. But here's the ball forward. Can Van Kooten make this? I mean, he's still young. He's not quite there yet, is he? Although that was offside. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one. If it had been onside, he would have got there before the player, obviously, because he's great. But fingers crossed, we can hold on to another victory. Bearing in mind how rotated we are, it shows how good we've been this year. We had that last game where we lost 3-0 with this rotated team, but we've given these players 4 or 5 games now, and they've not let us down. Harley showing what he can do out on the wing as well. And that's lovely work from Harley again. It falls to Williams, and there is the third, the cherry on top of the cake, because there's no catching us now. And that has been another very, very good performance. I'm giving them a clap. What a squad of players this was for the National League North. Most of them not good enough to make the step up. And obviously with the extra money that we've got, it would be silly not to rebuild the entire squad. So it's goodbye to a lot of these boys who've got us here, but the future is looking very bright. There's a lot of money in the kitty off the back of that FA Cup run that we had, and now we get to reap what we sowed. Reap what was sown. It's probably the way to do that sentence earlier in the season, by using that money to build a team that, fingers crossed, can stay in the National League next year. Remember, Tamworth, newly promoted to the National League North this season. What is with that? Why does that keep happening? Ever since the update, that happens far too often. And I know some of you are going to say, Kev, check your graphics card drivers. They're all fine. Everything is up to date. Look at my computer specs in the comments. I've got a NASA supercomputer. There is no logic behind that happening. Let me know down in the comment section. Is that happening to you since the update as well? Because that needs a fix, because it's absurd that it's happening as often as it is. It happened on stream. It's happened in every video I've done since the update as well. I'm not enjoying it. But what I have enjoyed is that season in the National League North. Probably, and I'd need a LOLLUJO historian to go back and check, but I think that is probably the best first season we've ever had in non-league to legend. Cullinane Liebird finishing 3rd on the best player in the league list. Kyle Finn and Ben Milnes, the top 2 for assist makers. Cullinane Liebird and Shakuna right up there for player of the match. And we shared the goals around, so we didn't even have anyone on the top scorers chart. All very positive stuff. If you enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.